Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people.
Sing along, Fish.
Welcome. You know, sometimes they say this is the more intimate show, the more, I don't know, what are some of the other...
Sexual.
Well, they sometimes do say that, yeah.
Is that why Roser's watching people flush stuff down a toilet?
I don't know
TV?
why is this TV, why was the TV actually on TV?
It was on a channel called Heaven.
Yeah.
Never
And now it's
seen
on
that
HC.
before.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a
This
good
is
chance
even-
we're going to just start the show over.
No,
we're not.
Should we just keep going?
Yeah.
We're live like Channel 5.
Oh, hey. Glad you're with us here on The Odds Couple. Normally, it's a quieter show, but this show, we leave our phones on. We can't find stuff on the TV. We're watching Highway to Heaven. That's what we're watching.
Oh, that's
That
what,
is?
that's what the
that
Heaven is.
Yeah, that's what that is. Highway
I
to
just
Heaven.
wanted to be able where we can see everything that goes on the screen.
Yeah.
That's what wow. See?
There you go.
There's Roser. There he is.
Yeah. Is there a
right.
camera that goes to that TV so we can show actually what we're watching?
it's
It
just
just
like-
says HDMI 1 and then nothing.
It's just like we're on a highway to heaven.
Yeah. And then,
Shout out Michael Landon.
that was me.
Former college
grazing
athlete, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Man, we're so prepared for this program.
there it
today.
goes.
Hey, hi
Hey.
everybody.
There it goes.
I can see myself now as well. Welcome to the show. It's not going to be as quiet today because it is a big show. This is a big show. It was a big weekend in sports.
It was.
A lot of sports that maybe we don't pay attention to a lot of the year, but it was big. It was big moments in big sports over the weekend. We got a big week this week as well, as the NBA Finals play every 7 days, it feels like. The NHL Stanley Cup Final, that continues tonight. The College World Series, we're one team away from knowing the 8 in Omaha. We got the U.S. Open this week as well. Woo! Big show. Lang Whitaker is next to me. Hello, Lang Whitaker. How
Hey,
are
Rob.
you?
I'm great.
How was
You
your
know,
weekend?
You know,
Did
it's
you
a big
enjoy
show.
it like me?
I did a lot of work
Oh,
around the house.
Yeah.
Built a basketball goal. I built a cabinet for the
is
house.
that the basketball goal since Christmas?
Yeah, it's built now. And then it fell down a day later.
Oh,
The storm came, knocked it over. So, yeah, it's up though. It's built.
Yeah.
But now I'm sore. Like my legs are sore. I got to like one step on that basketball goal. I was putting it all together, and it said, "Pull out your sawhorse and lean the goal on it." And I'm like, "Sawhorse? Like,
What is a sawhorse?
You know, like the thing like the carpenters use to like saw against. Like it's like a shaped like a V and a V with a 2x4 in between or whatever. You like
No.
prop things up on them.
we made some.
Yeah,
My wife did. I didn't.
but I'm like, I don't have a sawhorse,
Yeah.
so I leaned it on.
Fish, you can't make stuff. Not really a good maker of things.
I'm more of a supporter.
No,
Yeah.
you did
Me
the backyard.
too.
Fish.
Me too.
Yeah.
You did the whole backyard.
Well, I was there for it. Helped. I
Hatchet
did help.
Man.
I did
What
help.
happened to Hatchet Man?
There were
You
moments.
were Hatchet Man.
Boy,
yeah.
there were moments. Yeah. Boy, I feel like I couldn't do that today. Just
Why?
swing a hatchet.
Yeah.
I think I'd be sore too.
I was working on that basketball goal, and there was sweat pouring off my face, dripping onto the thing, and my son goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm good. Just hand me that wrench." Jesus.
My
Yeah.
daughter asked if I was okay. We drove to St. Louis for the weekend, and going up to St. Louis, it's such a miserable drive because I've done it so many times.
Do you stop at Lambert's every time? or
Never,
no? All right.
never.
That's
Back in the day,
unfortunate.
did. Back
Yeah,
in
but
the
you're
day.
probably used to it now.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. I stop at White Castles every time, and I did that in Cape Girardeau. Shout out to the White Castles. Also stop in Boomland.
What's that?
It's a nice, huge, truck stop.
Wait, so hold on. You stopped at White Castle in Cape Girardeau.
Mm-hmm.
How far from Cape Girardeau is it to St. Louis?
Hour and a half.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's almost halfway.
I was going to say, if it's like 3 hours, like, whew, that's dangerous.
No, hour and a half. All good. But driving to St. Louis, getting behind people who don't get over,
Oh, it's the worst.
and then you got to get off. I mean, these are real problems for us
Look,
poor people.
I
but-
drive back and forth to Destin pretty regularly.
Oh my God!
It's
And at one point,
infuriating.
one point, I hit my steering wheel. I didn't honk. I hit my steering wheel, and my daughter goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No."
My car has the cruise control thing where you set it, and if you get too close to
It'll
another,
slow down.
it slows down automatically. But my wife's car doesn't have that,
Right.
so you got to like stay alert.
Yeah,
'cause-
that's how ours are too.
You set it at 70, and all of a sudden you're like rolling up on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sucked. But it was good. It was a good weekend. Good weekend.
I watched a
in
lot of
St. Louis.
sports. I woke up early Sunday and watched or Saturday and watched the women's French Open championship, which was a heck of a match.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll get your thoughts on that
Yeah.
coming up in a moment as we'll touch on that and everything from the weekend. But first, John Roser, how are you, sir? How's
I'm
your
doing
weekend?
well. The weekend was good. Went to
There's some wrestling.
I did Memphis wrestling yesterday.
Nice.
It's going to air. It's the 4th of July show.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a hot dog eating contest there. It's a great time.
They really film those ahead of time.
Man, 5 Star has done they film, I think it's 3 at a time. They film 3, they did 3 shows. They film 3 shows at a time, and then they'll air in the coming weeks. And during this next time, toward the next taping, you start working on the next storylines and things you want to go from there, and then you'll have one taping. It's a way, So
He's an expert. He's an expert now. You can tell, Fish.
an absolute blast. Shout out 5 Star. I had an amazing time at Memphis Wrestling. First time ever calling wrestling. It moves so fast. It is way faster than basketball.
Was there just a lot of from you?
No, I commented on some things.
Were you doing color or play-by-play?
I commented on some things. Well, it's like you're both doing it. Like it's the same. Like
No, I mean not on WWE. Michael
Yeah.
Cole does the play-by-play, and Pat McAfee does the
5 Star does the play-by-play.
All right.
Does the
Do
play-by-play.
you know like all the terms for the different moves and stuff? Like
Yeah, but he
did
5
that
Star.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dustin does all that stuff. He's so
Yeah.
it's impressive because you got to be like turned on that entire time. It's like an all-day
but he
affair.
also knows what's happening, right?
Yes,
he's got a script.
Yes,
Yeah.
he definitely knows everything that's going on. But no, it was an absolute blast. Can't wait to do it again.
Awesome.
If I didn't suck so bad that he won't have me back again. But I had an absolute blast doing it, and I went to Jack Brown's Burgers.
Yeah.
Burger in
Cooper Young.
Midtown, and I went to Belmont Grill. I've been in Memphis my entire life, and I've never been to Belmont.
Really?
Belmont's
So
so
good.
good. Yeah,
You did
and
your
it's
own,
my kind of place. It's dark.
Yep.
Like you can just mind your own business in there, and you bring the age down. We always
said
bring
my
the
kind of
average
place.
age. Love it. We
You did
bring
your
the-
own cooking this weekend too. I saw.
we did a little cooking too. Did a little cooking, a little
right.
asparagus and bucatini pasta
Yeah.
with some Folks Folly, some ground beef from the Humphreys Prime Cut Shop. Yeah,
How you like that?
yeah, it's delicious.
Fantastic. All right, great stuff. It was a great weekend in sports as well. And one of the things that happened this weekend was in women's college softball. It was the Women's College World Series, and the Texas Longhorns of the SEC,
How about it?
they win the national championship as they beat Texas Tech 10-4, their first national title, and they finished the season 56-12. Tegan Cavan, their pitcher, allowed 0 earned runs in 31 2/3 innings pitched. She was 4-0 with a save.
Yeah.
Wow. And then for Texas Tech, Najari Kennedy, the $1 million arm,
Yeah.
she was pulled after the first inning, gave up 5 runs.
She got lit up
in
that
the first
inning.
inning.
Yeah.
She finally got arm fatigue.
Arm fatigue, yeah, pretty much. She had pitched every inning until that point in the World Series for Texas Tech. Wow. That's amazing.
But all you need is one pitcher to get to the final game. If you have 2, maybe you win the title.
Yeah. $2 million arms?
Yeah, or $1.5 million worth of arms.
Why
Like,
do they only play 7 innings? Why don't they play 9?
just like how that's always been.
Yeah.
So
It goes too fast.
things are meant to change.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I say 9 8. Let's go 9. Boy, those pitchers, though.
I
That's
agree.
impressive stuff. But the SEC brings home a championship.
Yeah,
so
it just means more.
congratulations. It just means
It's always
more.
been more. It still
That's
does.
right.
Well, it's going to be tough if the men's team is going to, one of the men's teams is going to bring home a championship.
Yeah.
Don't have many left.
No. All right, the French Open was also this weekend.
Yeah.
Coco Gauff, she wins the French Open. She beat, is it Arena Sabalenka?
Yes,
Is that
that's
correct?
right.
Was I right there?
Very well done.
Thank you very
Nailed
much.
it.
Arena
Yeah.
Sabalenka, 6-7, lost the first set, but then came back 6-2, 6-4.
6-7. Do you know that meme? Your kids say that all the time?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's like every kid just walks around going 6'7". I don't know why. There's some YouTube video where a guy says it and it's just taken off. And kids try to get each other to say 6'7". My son had a friend spend the night, Friday night, and Saturday morning I wake up, I'm watching the French Open Championship. They come downstairs and it's like 6'5". And then they tie it at 6 to go to a tiebreaker. And I was like, and they were like, is the score going to be 6-7? And I was like, well, we'll see if somebody wins the tiebreaker. Yes, it'll be. And they stood there for 20 minutes and waited for the tiebreaker just so they could see 6-7 on the screen. It's a whole thing. Sabalenka's number 1 in the world. Coco Gauff's number 2 in the world. And Sabalenka was so good in that match for probably 80% of it, but she had 70 unforced errors.
Oh.
And every time she'd have Gauff on the run, she'd get the lead, then she'd just hit it in the net or hit it out or whatever. And there were so many times where, and Sabalenka had zero control of her emotions. Constantly, they played a clip of her losing to Coco Gauff a year and a half ago somewhere, and she broke the racket afterwards. She would get upset. She would hit a bad one of those unforced errors. She would turn around screaming at her coach, screaming at the ground, screaming. And afterwards, she was she claimed it was because the conditions were bad. It was a little windy.
Oh.
So sometimes she would throw the ball up for a serve and have to catch it and do it again, She said afterwards, that immediately afterwards in her on-court interview, that the conditions were terrible and Coco Gauff just handled the conditions better than she did. And then
at least she gave her
a day later,
credit.
she came out and was like, look, I played terrible. It was me. Coco played good. I played terrible.
Yeah.
Shout out Coco Gauff, though.
Shout out.
She was awesome. She was just very solid.
Yeah, good for Coco Gauff. Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to
Go
Coco.
tennis.
Go tennis.
Wimbledon's the next big one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
next month.
Yeah, and then on the men's side, it was a duel, an absolute duel. 5 hours, 29 minutes, second longest Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz, your champion, beats Yannick Sinner 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6 to win the championship. The last 6 Grand Slams have been won by these two.
Yeah.
Which is awesome for tennis because
We have 2 young stars.
and what do we just come off of? I mean, we've had 4. I mean, it's been a you had Federer and
Nadal.
Djokovic. Then you had Nadal.
Yeah, you had Federer, Nadal, and then Djokovic came around, and
was
And
him
Djokovic he
and
made the
Nadal.
Final Four
Yeah.
of this. He's still around.
Yeah.
But he's kind of
Now these two have
sort
taken
of like
over.
Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah, and these two have taken over, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a great duel every time that they battle. So that's pretty cool. That's
How about
5.5 hours?
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
he was down too. He was center had him I think it was 6'3", and he had 40, or 5'3", and he had 40 points. He was one shot away from winning the thing, and then Alcaraz came back, won that set, won the game, won the match, and it was an amazing comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable. Great tennis match. Watched a little bit of it. You couldn't miss it. It was on for 5.5 hours for crying out
It was
loud.
really long.
All right, and then we had the Belmont Stakes and Sovereignty.
I didn't see that.
After winning the Kentucky Derby, Sovereignty wins the Belmont Stakes as well with Journalism. It was a battle between these two great super horses, Sovereignty and Journalism, who won the Preakness. Journalism finishes second like he did in the Kentucky Derby. Baeza third and Rodriguez fourth. And which reminds me, let's see.
you hit your super.
Let's see. Who are the 4 horses I gave you? The 2 Sovereignty, the 3 Rodriguez, the 6 Baeza, and the 7 Journalism. That's a superfecta, my friends, that we gave you right here on the show. And there's your payout. How about that, though? $1 superfecta. And as I told you last week, I would superfecta box that. So the box cost you $24. So you won 16. So you won $16 on the bet. But that is a net positive. And maybe you went $2 superfecta and won yourself a big $32. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you did hit the superfecta with the horses that we gave you, or the trifecta at $13.80, although that would have cost you money. You would have actually gave money back.
Was it a close race?
It was great. And Journalism was there, had the lead, and then Sovereignty just came flying through, and took the lead and just didn't look back. And then Journalism held on for second, but Journalism ran a great race. Looked like Journalism was going to win up until the end, and then Sovereignty just took off, and it was pretty cool, pretty impressive, good stuff. It was on. It was at Saratoga because Belmont Park is being redone.
Yeah.
So it was at Saratoga, and it was a little shorter of a race than what it normally is.
Now, did Sovereignty participate in the Preakness?
No.
He sat it out.
So Sovereignty only participated in the
first and the third.
in the Kentucky and the Belmont.
And won both.
And the only one that journalism won was the Preakness.
The one without
So
Sovereignty.
Sovereignty defeated journalism. That's a win for America. It's a win. It's a win for America.
Preakness was fake news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
Journalism was fraudulent.
That's right. The NBA Finals Game 2 was last night. Oklahoma City knocking off the Indiana Pacers last night, 123 to 107. The Oklahoma City Thunder now 17-2 following a loss this season. They're 5-0 in the playoffs. This one felt like, if we could bet on the NBA, I think I would have. This one would have been easy for me to bet Oklahoma City, and I don't care what the line was.
That was the OKC we've seen all season.
Oh.
You know? Yeah. I mean, and Indiana's offense, especially in that first, well, really like the first 6 quarters of the series, except for that fourth quarter of game 1, they haven't really had much flow. They kind of look like they're not what they were in the regular season because OKC is so good defensively. Mm-hmm. The second half last night, Indiana scored 33 points in each of the third and fourth quarter. And I don't know if that was OKC taking their foot off the gas a little bit or if the Pacers sort of found some stuff and figured some stuff out. I mean, friggin' Miles Turner went crazy in that third quarter. Last night, that dunk he had, they never replayed it because like 2 big Oklahoma City plays happened just after. But that was the best dunk of the series. Miles Turner just tomahawking on Hartenstein was awesome. I think if Indiana really did kind of find something in those last 2 quarters, then maybe game 3 we see a different Pacers team. But I also saw Halliburton limping out of the post-game press conference last night, so who knows?
Oh, well, there's that. Then there's the NHL playoffs as well, the Stanley Cup final, as the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers. And what a start to this series. Game 1 went to overtime, Edmonton winning that one. Game 2 went to overtime, Florida winning that one 5-4 in OT. First 2 games going to overtime. First time that's happened since 2014. The 6th time it's happened ever. 2 great games. I mean, if you like hockey, my goodness, overtime hockey in the playoffs, nothing better than that. That's pretty darn exciting. Great series so far. A great start. A lot more scoring than I expected. You expect Edmonton to be a high-scoring team, but at this point of the playoffs and in the Stanley Cup, you don't expect that. In Florida, not a high-scoring team, but they're putting the puck in the back of the net as well. So we're seeing a lot of action, and it's been exciting to watch.
I haven't watched much of it.
Yeah.
I watched part of game 1 and part of game 2, but I didn't
I'm glad
sit
it hasn't
down.
been on the same night as the NBA finals.
Yeah, those games take a long time. The hockey ones, you know, and those long intermissions. I'll flip the channel and kind of get lost.
Yeah, you come back and you missed like the first 5 minutes and 2 goals.
Yeah, and the game's totally changed. Yeah.
The UFL playoffs as well.
How about this?
It was the conference championship, and the Birmingham Stallions are out. They were eliminated. A team that has won the
Stunning.
last 3 spring championships. They lose
To the Florida
Michigan.
Panthers.
Michigan Panthers, and then the DC Defenders beat the Battlehawks.
Yep.
Come on, Battlehawks!
St. Louis went out.
2 years in a row, the Battlehawks are in the conference championship, and they're playing at home in the conference championship. And the league championship game is in
Super
St.
Bowl.
Louis.
I thought in the Super Bowl in St. Louis or whatever.
And they've blown it.
XFL
2
Super
years
Bowl.
in a row, they've lost this game. So now
UFL?
the game's in St. Louis next week, DC and Michigan. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be packed. CJ will break it down for us on Thursday. He'll break it down for us on Thursday. All right, a couple of big beats. Let's get to some of the big
I did see an interview with Tommy Luganbill and Emmanuel Acho, who are the sideline guys on there, and they said that the sidelines on the UFL, you would know about this as a sideline reporter yourself. They said the sideline reports they give are the type of access the NFL and college football don't want you to have.
Yeah.
Because UFL, they're like, dude throws an interception, runs off the field, and they stop him. They're like, what happened? Why'd you throw that interception?
Right.
You have to answer like right away. It'd be tough.
It was, man.
I'd like to see you interviewing angry Zach Edey coming off the court.
Zach, what happened?
Rolled ankle again.
All right, a few big beats from the week. One of them is Coco. Go, Coco, go. Coco Gauff captured her first French Open title. Now she has 2 career majors now. after winning the U.S. Open in 2023. She's the first American to win a Grand Slam on clay since Serena did 10 years ago, 2015. She now leads the all-time series with Sabalenka 6-5 and ended the trend of the winner of the first set taking 7 of the last 8 matches between the two.
I think both of those majors she won were against Sabalenka in the finals.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
Somehow I've become a women's tennis expert.
I'm glad you have.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, number 2. This one's for you, Lang. DFA.
Right.
DFA is number 2.
It's Craig Kimbrell.
One day after bringing back Craig Kimbrell, the greatest closer in franchise history.
No. What franchise? Not the Braves franchise.
Not the Braves?
No.
No, he's not.
Mark Wohlers has got to be up there.
Okay.
Jeff Reardon, Gene Garber.
Okay.
I can throw some names at you.
Perhaps the greatest closer in franchise
One of
history.
the better closers.
Craig Kimbrell, the struggling. Let me tell you something. Betting the Atlanta Braves right now is
bet
an
against them.
absolute disaster.
No, bet against them every
Sure,
game.
I'll go with Chris Sale. That should be a win.
Braves lose.
Anyway, they designated Craig Kimbrell for assignment one day after they let him pitch. Here's what he did in his one outing.
Yeah.
He allowed a leadoff single, but then that guy was thrown out stealing.
Yeah, that's right.
Then he walked a guy, but picked him off.
Yeah.
And then he struck out Wilmer Flores to end the frame.
Yeah.
His fastball's averaging 91.5 miles an hour.
So
Eee.
I read a bunch of different reports about this and have kind of pieced together, because nobody would say it outright what was going on, but lots of people kind of allude to it. The Braves signed him in the offseason, a $2 million contract if you're in the majors. He's been in the minors. He's been playing for the Braves AAA team. He called the Braves, was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm in. The Braves have now lost something like 14 of their last 17. What do we have to lose? They called him up. He pitched that one inning. His fastball was terrible. Gave up a hit, struck out a guy, and they DFA'd him. And you lose. Apparently he gets paid $2 million, but it's prorated based on the time you're in the majors. So he makes, of that $2 million, whatever one day of it is for that one day he pitched. The crazy part is they called him up, flew him, made him fly to San Francisco, pitch one inning, and then cut him. So then he's got to fly home. Yeah.
What's going on with the Braves, man?
They've lost in one run games. They've lost 10 consecutive one-run games.
Wow. All right. Roser, for your free pick today, see who the Braves are playing.
I'll tell you this, there's pretty much nothing I like more in the summer than watching the Braves games at night, because I know at the end of my day, this is what I got on TV. And if, maybe there's NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, whatever else happening, but I always go back to the Braves. That's like what I'm going to watch every night. And now we're just getting our ass kicked every day, and it's not fun.
No.
It's really not fun.
Oh, I know. Cardinals had that the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So went through that.
Luckily, we have all these guys signed to long-term contracts. So guys like Michael Harris and Ozzie Albies who can't hit anymore, well, we're going to have them for like 5 more years each. So
if you needed to make a bet on this, I hate to say it because I love the guy, but there might be a new manager in Atlanta.
Oh, there needs to be 2 weeks ago.
Right?
The last time they lost 7 in a row right now. It's their second 7-game losing streak this season. But the last time they lost 7 in a row before this season was when Freddie Gonzalez was the manager, and he got fired, and Snicker got the job. And now they just brought back Freddie Gonzalez to be the third base coach,
and
which would be hilarious. Yeah, if they fire him. I think they'd make it Walt Weiss. But anyway.
No, they are playing.
We're playing the Brewers tonight
Yeah.
at Milwaukee, I believe.
Brewers have been a bad team to bet too.
Yeah.
I've been wrong on them every night. All right, number 3, Big Maple Falls. Big Maple Falls, Zach Eady, ankle injury. Re-sprained his left ankle in an off-season workout and will undergo surgery to restabilize the ankle and will likely miss the beginning of the season.
Sucks.
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah, it stinks. I do wonder if you can, if it's early December, that'd be like 6 months, early December, because they project it's like 6 to 8 months is what the projection is. So if it's the 6 months, which they would still bring him back slow, could you patch it together? Because the season starts like October 21st, I think, is opening night this year. Could you patch it together for like a month and a half, or is this a situation where you got to go find a center now? Because if it's a situation where you got to go find a center now, then that means you would probably prefer, you're not going to renegotiate and extend Jaren Jackson Jr. this offseason. That means I think Jaren would wait till I think Jaren's going to play the contract out anyway, but if you were going to renegotiate and extend Jaren, you would give all of your available cap space to Jaren to be able to do that, to give him as much money as possible. But if you're going to need a situation where you got to go out and get a center now, you can't do that. You would just have Jaren play out the contract because you got to have to use money and everything on a center.
I would guess they're not going to go. If they're going to go find a center, it's not going to be someone you're going to be stuck with long term.
Yeah,
Bismarck.
Or like
he already
Jonas.
retired.
I mean, a guy like Bismarck.
Jonas Valanciunas.
I like Jonas.
Yeah, he's available. He might be a guy who's available, but they're not going to go out and sign Miles Turner, who's a free agent.
No way.
They're going to figure out, if anything, they'll go figure out a way to get someone who's expiring or something. Like
Is
that.
it a combination of Jaren and Brandon? Whoever.
I mean, I don't know if Brandon's back. You don't know if you got Jay Huff. I don't know about Marvin Bagley. Maybe you bring him back.
Yeah.
There's some options there. Jay Huff did put in a workout room in his house recently. He's getting ready.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, it's
Shout out Huff.
kind of depressing. Get better, Zach.
Ran into him at the grocery store yesterday.
There you go.
All right. We're just underway here on The Odds Couple. When we come back, who said it?
Let's do it.
Comes your
I love
way.
Who
We're
Said
doing
It.
that when we
Such a
return
great
here
game.
on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go! Let's go!
Javon Evans might be the John Morant of the WWE. You ask me how do I say that? It's
here we
because
go.
Javon Evans is electrifying. He is viral. He does things you've never seen before. The most athletic guy you've never ever seen in the wrestling world. He reminds me of John in a wrestling ring. So Javon Evans, I'm proclaiming you on this day the John Morant of the WWE.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots that
900.
I mean they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're going to get seated this. So who's going to actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to the Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker alongside Rob Fisher and John Roser. It's the Monday edition, which means not only is it smaller, more intimate, some say more thoughtful, it's also
Sexual.
time for Who Said It? I feel like I should do like a... The Tonys was last night. We didn't even talk about the Tonys.
Oh, I missed it.
Hey, Roser, you guys on the Chris Vernon show should give out awards and call them the Tonys. And have Tony Allen give out awards. Great thought.
Yeah.
Free idea. All right, it's time for Who Said It, the game show that swept the country from sea to shining sea, from Memphis to Bristol, Connecticut. And today we always start with some bonus clips. I don't know if you guys, do you remember NFL linebacker Marshall McFadden?
No.
No.
Former NFL linebacker who has now transitioned to being a NASCAR jackman.
And you didn't either until you read this story.
It's not even a story, it's just a clip.
A clip.
Do you guys know what a jackman does? Watch this.
Yeah, you jack the car up so they can put the
Watch
tires
this.
on.
Slinging tires. Throwing the car up with one hand. Boom.
There's an exact science to this because
It's
these guys can
unbelievable.
easily bump into each other. There's a
Or
total
get run over by the car.
Yeah, right. There's a total science to when that car stops.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, who goes where, yeah. Like
I sat behind the pits for the Indy 500, and I mean, just watch. First of all, how fast they come into.
Well, you saw how
pit
fast
is
that dude was running
incredible.
too. Like, yeah.
and
Jackman has to
then-
have the inside track.
And then
because
they go, and it's incredible how fast they go. It's awesome. It's cool to watch.
I mean, the strength also, like that he has to have to throw that jack around, and then he
Yeah.
lifts the car with one pump basically, and then he grabbed the tire out of there too, got rid of it. Like that was unbelievable.
Do you know those tires are heavy as hell too?
Oh, see, he played for the Rams, St. Louis Rams, from Lamar,
Loves
South
NASCAR.
Carolina. Played at South Carolina State University. Anyway, that's the first bonus
If
clip.
you're,
Other
good, if
bonus
you're good
clip-
at that gig, I bet you could do it for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You might get you might age out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might not
Right.
have the speed and
Because
strength
there's
anymore.
a definite time they all try to hit on those pit stops.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
It's like
yeah.
8 seconds or something.
Yeah.
The other bonus clip, this is a gambling program. So, Golden Tate, who remembers Golden Tate?
Yeah.
I do, yes.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
Apparently loves gambling. And he was a guest on a podcast this week where he talked about his love for gambling. Watch this.
Antics. Getting into it, huh?
Yeah.
Talk to me about your strategy, because apparently some other sports books have said, hey, we got to slow you down a little bit.
I've been limited by a few books. I've always been a gambler. Legally, we couldn't do it for the longest time, and now it's like the thing to do. So I'm always trying to hammer about 20, 30 bets in a day. It doesn't matter if I'm betting on college football or Asian baseball.
You'll go international.
I'm doing it. I'm trying to find edge. And the way I
Asian
picture it
baseball.
is, the way I see it is like, all right, look,
I know people.
what I'm doing is buying stocks. Say I'm buying this
too.
bottle. You're selling it to me for $1, but I can go here and get it for 95 cents, but then I can go over there and get it for 84 cents, whether I like the water or not. And so I'm going to invest in this water, not because I love the water, but because I love the value that I'm getting. And so I'm finding value. And it's like, I guess they call it EV betting. So over time, if you ever want to beat the books, you got to find value. And so I have probably 10, 11 books. Like, I got all of them. I even got to the point where I got a different VPN to get some of the books that are out of state.
No shit.
Yeah, which I've stopped doing because it's probably not good.
How about that? Notre Dame education right there. Going to work
Heck
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean he's not wrong. That's how
In
that's how the pros do. Shop around. Like if
Find the best
it's
odds.
like, why would I get this for? I can get this number at -114 somewhere, but I can get it over here for -107. Why? I'll take the -107.
Most
it's
people are
better
just too
value.
lazy to shop around. You're like 114,
Well, most
107.
of we don't do
You know
it
what I mean?
professionally. It's like it's all for fun. Like it's like I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I don't expect to win. Like at the beginning of football season every year, like I put like $100 into my account and I just try to play on that for as long as possible.
Me too.
And it usually gets me pretty far. Like I make like 5 bets in college, 5 bets in the NFL, and then I just let that play. And
It slowly decreases.
it
Yeah.
slowly decreases. I can get by for sometimes I get by
Same way.
because you'll have a week where like, dude, you go 8-2 and you're up, and so
I had some money on Sabalenka. I'd bet on her at the start of the French Open. She's been in the women's final for like 3 tournaments in a row. So I was like, all right, she's got this. And then she lost.
I had money on Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like my best sports was one of those times at Summer League. Like I talked to Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. He goes, dude, since you're out there, he's like, go bet on this UFC. And I was like, okay. It was a massive UFC. It was their international fight week. So like Bones Jones was fighting, Amanda Nunes was fighting when she was a big thing. And he told me all the fights to bet on. I bet on like 5 fights. I went 4-1 on them, plus had props on 2 of them, hit the props. And then, so I cleaned up on that. I did terrible gambling on like actual machines and table games. But I killed the sports betting. I hit the UFC. I had Mexico to beat the United States in soccer.
That's easy, man.
Yeah.
Right. And I hit the Monday night. It was the Major League Baseball home run derby, and I had Pete Alonso to win the home run derby, and I won like $300 on that. So, yeah.
All right, let's get to the actual Who Said It items. We have several clips here. We're going to start with number 1. I don't really think it's that often you can verbatim say to the press afterward what got you thrown out. So I said, you're having a really bad day. Who said it?
Who got thrown out? I don't even know who got thrown out in baseball recently. I have no idea. Obviously it's baseball.
Brian Snicker got thrown out this weekend, but it's not him.
Yeah, I don't remember any highlights of people getting thrown out. So this is very difficult for me. I'm going to go Brett Boone.
Bryce Harper?
No, this is Nico Horner from the Cubs.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, let's watch the clip. And then we also have the video of him getting tossed it's mic'd up.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's start with the clip of him talking.
I don't think it's really that often you can verbatim say to the press afterwards, like, what got you thrown out? So I said, you're having a really bad day.
Jacob just said something in my ear, and I have no idea.
They
what he said.
play it because there's a Snoop Dogg song playing in the background.
Okay.
And,
no worries. So what he says is he gets thrown out here on a called strike, and he turns to the umpire, and he actually, you can read the things. He really says to the umpire, "You're having a really bad day so far," and he gets tossed.
Wow.
It's not like he didn't curse, didn't do anything, didn't like show him up.
Who are they playing?
Who knows?
That's the Tigers, isn't it? Is it the Tigers?
Might have been. The Cubs played the Tigers, the two best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Nico Horner.
You can't give Nico. I don't even know who Nico Horner is.
He's great.
Come on.
Oh, he's a Chicago Cub, and
Well, I
they're
know
the best
that.
team in the
Well, I
century.
know that.
Best team in baseball.
Do they still have Christopher Morel?
No, he's in Tampa, I believe.
Okay.
All right, clip 2.
Right.
I know they got Pete Crow.
Press conference. Reporter says, has any player had work? I'm going to use player instead of the name of the actual player. Has any player had worked on his shoulder in the offseason? The coach says, that's about it on him, guys. On the questions, what do I say? That's it for him. His general soreness. We're taking extra precaution. We're not going to rush him into anything. He'll be fine. And when the moment is for him to be ready to go, he'll be ready to go. Who said it?
That's D'Amico Ryans, because I remember the general soreness quote. He's got to be talking about C.J. Stroud, because, again, shout out to I'll give journalism credit on this one. It is so weird that, dude, the Texans have not played since January, and C.J. Stroud can't throw the ball now.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with his shoulder? He hadn't played in a game. Why is his shoulder off?
So apparently they kept asking about it, and D'Amico Ryans was not thrilled.
Do you have any work on his shoulder in the offseason?
That's it for CJ, guys. On the questions, that's it. What I said, that's it for him. Like, his general soreness, and we're taking extra precaution with him. We're not gonna rush him into anything. He'll be fine when the moment is for him to be ready to go. He'll be ready to go.
He's pulling his sleeves up like that. I would not be questioning him.
Dude,
more.
he is jacked, man. D'Amico Ryans is like, that man's been,
like he can still play.
He's been hitting the curls.
I don't know, man. I would not be pushing him on that stuff. All right, clip 3. Like, it's not really a quote, but it's something I saw, so I'm going to make it into a quiz for you guys. A Lexington TV station asked this week, which is more annoying, cicadas or Tennessee fans?
A Lexington TV station asked?
Who won?
Tennessee fans. For sure.
We can watch. They have a live poll on screen on the clip.
To hear your reaction, which is why we're asking you to vote right now in our live poll. We want to know what is more annoying, cicadas or Tennessee fans.
This is so good. Log on to lex18.com/vote now or scan that QR code with your camera app and weigh in. We'll be checking in throughout the evening, and we'll have the final results tonight at 7.
Who gets your vote?
Cicadas.
Yeah, cicadas. Look, I've lived in the South my whole life. You've been here for a long time. You've been here for a long Tennessee fans. It's SEC fans outside of like Vanderbilt and maybe Mississippi State fans. Like, they're pretty annoying in general, so it's not just Tennessee fans. Like,
every school's got some.
Yeah, right. And we've lived in Tennessee for a long time. Like, we've dealt with it. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, cicadas are way more annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You do agree?
I do think when I drive through Alabama, we're talking about getting stuck behind cars. I always appreciate the cars that have the Auburn stickers on the back because I know they're going to be a bad driver before I get to them. You know, like, it just gives me a little warning before I get up there. All right, next clip. Announcer number 1 says he kind of got screwed a little bit, for lack of a better term. Sorry, folks, by the home plate umpire. The other announcer goes, that's a first. I don't believe we've had that terminology in our broadcast in 20 years. But, you know, there's an old saying on TV, you can say anything once. After that, you never know. Announcer 1 says, I was fumbling for the word, and that's what came out. Just give me announcer one if you can think of who that is.
I'm going to say it sounds like something that the Mets broadcast would say.
Yeah, I have no idea here.
So I'll go with the New York Mets.
Does Gary Thorne still do the Orioles games?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know, though, for sure.
Does John Miller still do the Giants games?
No, but he popped up the last week on a broadcast.
John
somewhere.
Miller was the GOAT.
All right, we can watch the clip.
You kind of got
nailed it.
Yeah,
screwed a little bit, for lack of a better term. Sorry, folks. Up by the home, just down a bit. You kind of got screwed a little bit, for lack of a better term. Sorry, folks. Up by the home plate umpire.
That's a first. I don't believe we've had that terminology in our broadcast in 20 years on SNY, but there's an old saying in TV. You can say anything once.
I was fumbling.
After that, you never know.
I was fumbling for the word, and that's what came out.
They're on MLB Network a lot.
Keith's the best.
And they're great.
When I lived in New York, I would watch Mets games just to hear them because they were so good. With Ron Darling, usually is in there too with the two of them.
And he's cool.
Yeah. It was more fun when the Mets were terrible because they would just have to chew up time and come up with stuff to talk about. Yeah, they were great.
Let's see what's going on with the Mets this year.
They're good this year.
Yeah, because they spent all that money. They spent. They've got their roster's like $1 billion roster.
Well, they're all still mad about Soto because he still takes walks all the time.
Because he's not good.
Yeah, that's like a thing. That dude, that's always been the thing with Juan Soto. He walks.
Yep.
He was better with the Yankees because the Yankees also have a hitter's park. Like the Citi Field's a pitcher's park, isn't it?
Not really. It's kind of average.
No, it's okay.
But Soto doesn't matter where he plays. He doesn't want to hit home run.
Yeah,
he
walks.
To walk.
He wants to walk. That's why the advanced nerds love him. He gets on base.
Yeah.
Billy Bean loves him.
People calling him Ted Williams.
All right, let's get to basketball. We're in the NBA Finals. Reporter says, what's that feeling like when you have to dribble and you're being guarded by Alex Caruso? And the player says, I don't know. I be frying Caruso, so I don't know. Who said it?
I be frying Caruso. Wait, is this like a current player who said this?
Yeah,
I mean,
wasn't it
like
Can I ask you a question?
Maybe. You can ask it. Yes, you can.
Is it from this series?
It's from this, yeah.
Oh, it is?
This
Okay.
series.
I was going to go to my standby ant because it certainly feels like an ant.
It does, yeah.
Is this Benedict Matherin? If it's
That feels like a Benedict Matherin.
If it's from this series, it feels like something Benedict Matherin would say. Because Halliburton doesn't talk like that.
No.
Siakam, I don't think talks like that either.
Siakam never talks. It feels like.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard Pascal
Got a
Siakam
guess,
talk.
Fish?
I'll go with Roser.
Benedict Matherin.
We tricked both of y'all.
I'm sure there have been. Obviously, you've competed against Alex Caruso as an opponent. I'm sure there have been times where drills, scrimmages, whatever, where you guys have been on opposite teams. What is that
like
feeling
CJ,
like when you have to dribble and Alex Caruso is right in front of you?
I don't know. I'd be frying AC, so I don't really know.
Okay, if you would have said I'd be frying AC, it would have given it away because it would have given it away that it's a teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I changed it.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
So it's a false quote. It's a fake
Reporter
quote.
talking to a coach. Reporter says, do you have a favorite era of
Great
the Grateful
win for
Dead?
journalism again.
The coach says, I mean, obviously the early stuff, but I like Built to Last. I like the whole gamut. What's your favorite song? The reporter says, probably Bertha. How about you? The coach says, Ripple, Jackstraw, Franklin's Tower. Those all sound like horses from the Kentucky Derby, by the way. Who said it? Who's the coach?
Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle's got to be a Dead fan.
He was teammates with Bill Walton.
Yeah, I don't see Dagnall being a Grateful Dead fan. He seems too young.
Let's roll it.
I'm going to ask you if you have a favorite era.
Oh, my gosh, he is.
How about that?
Man. Era? Yeah. I mean, obviously the early stuff, but like I like Built to Last. Sure. Like I'm a fan of that. I like the whole gamut.
Yeah, I'm a big early '70s guy.
Okay.
Single drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know it that well. I mean, what's your favorite song?
Probably Bertha.
Okay.
Yeah, how about you?
Ripple, Jackstraw,
Incredible.
Franklin's Tower.
Awesome.
So,
Thanks,
all right.
man.
We'll see you.
Shout out Matt Tumbleson there.
Shout out Tumbleson.
Yeah, it is Tumbleson.
All right, that's it.
How about Mark Dagnall?
That's this week's. Yeah, who would have thought Dagnall's a deadhead?
Yeah, no kidding. Boy, we were
He has
wrong
no
on that one.
personality
I mean, if
at
you
all,
had to
to
look
me.
at the two and pick between Carlisle and Dagnall.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'd certainly go with Carlisle.
Every time I see him on the bench, they cut to him during the game, and he always has that same look on his face. Dagnall, and I always for a split second, I always think it's Mr. Bean. He looks like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, kind of
He's got
does
a
look
little
like Bean. We got Jim Carrey and Mr. Bean
Yeah.
on the sidelines for the finals.
All right, that's this week's Who Said It.
All right, we'll take a break
love
here
breaks.
on The Odds Couple. We'll come back, tell you what's going on this week in the world of sports, and we got free picks before we get out of here. That's all ahead here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or and the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
For Jaren Jackson Jr. in 7 years to have the following resume is very impressive. Second team all defense this year. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's a 2-time first team all defense, 2-time leader in blocks. Made the all-rookie first team back in his first year in the league.
You left off Defensive Player of the Year.
And Defensive Player of the Year.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
CP the franchise. Do we hate the Pacers?
Of course. I hate Halliburton. I hate Reggie. I hate the Pacers. I hope.
Yeah, where does Halliburton rank? Where's he rank?
Yeah, is there potential for him to be more hated than Reggie by the end of this series?
If you start flipping y'all off, for sure.
Yes. Well, first of all, they're built the same. They damn near look the same. You know what I mean? He's like reincarnated Reggie Miller.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Odds Couple.
Sing along, Fish.
Sing along, Fish.
We got some action coming up tonight.
Yeah, we do. I love action here on the more intimate edition of The Odds Couple.
That's right. We got more action coming up. We'll talk about that action.
We should turn off the lights.
Also,
not that kind of action.
Also, we got free picks.
There's stuff on tonight.
Coming on.
I got a free pick. I already got it ready to go.
All right,
little
beautiful.
parlay, little Pele.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good.
Did you see this mutual interest between Jason Kidd and the Knicks?
Oh,
yeah.
According to Brian Windhorst.
Interesting.
If he, first of all, why would you leave Dallas right before you get Cooper Flagg? But
because the Luka trade pissed you off so bad.
Yeah, I guess. But
and Jason Kidd does that.
If he
he
leaves,
wears out his welcome at places. He does.
Yeah. If he leaves, you know who's from Dallas?
TJ
Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins.
TJ, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Good old TJ.
Interesting. All right, time for some fish nuggets.
Nugs.
All right, here we go. Coco Gauff. We'll start with her. You know, she is the first woman in the Open era to win her first 2 Grand Slam titles after dropping the first set in the finals of each.
How about that?
Yeah, that is pretty impressive.
What other title did she win?
I think the U.S. Open against Sabalenka.
Last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago, yeah.
Okay, cool. Good for her.
That was the one where Sabalenka lost the final and then destroyed her racket.
Yeah.
She won, 2023. She won.
She's one of those. McEnroe, and who's the guy who does that? Who's the guy who tennis players always pissed off at everything?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
You're gonna Google guy tennis player pissed off at everything?
Angry men's tennis players. Yeah.
McEnroe's, I mean, that's who comes to mind.
Yeah. And his brother.
Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both kind of salty. You got it? Who's that? Who comes up?
Yeah, it's the Kyrgios.
Oh, the Australian guy.
Yeah, Nick
Kyrgios.
Yeah. That guy's always pissed off. Always.
Nice.
Anyways,
All right.
go ahead.
Hockey. On to hockey nuggets. The Edmonton Oilers now at the Stanley Cup final tied at 1 game apiece. The Oilers haven't swept a playoff series now since 1990. How about that?
That's not crazy. It's tough to sweep.
Yeah.
It's not easy to sweep. That's not.
Is it easier to sweep a
Not-
NHL or NBA series?
NBA.
That's what
I
I
think
would
it's
think,
tougher
too.
to sweep. What did you say, Fish? Tougher to get a sweep in the NBA or the NHL.
Playoffs.
I think the NHL's tougher.
I do too. Those games are all so close.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why it's probably easier in the NHL because you could get a break and you could be up 2-0 and then all of a sudden there's an overtime game and a mistake's made and you win and all of a sudden it's 3-0 out of nowhere and then get a break and it's 4-0 because the games are that close. If the breaks go the other way, I think you can steal wins. Well, I don't know. NBA, it's so much if you're better than the other team, there's a chance of being swept.
Right.
So, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably the NBA.
Let's actually find out.
Is AI going to have an answer for us?
So the NBA, it's tougher to sweep. There have been a total of 14 sweeps. I don't believe this. There have been more than 14 sweeps in the playoffs.
In the NBA?
Yes.
Is that the NBA Finals?
Yeah, it's got to be the NBA Finals. That's got to be the NBA Finals. Because the NHL, it says there have been 129.
Yeah.
Since they moved to the best of 7 series in 1987, there have been a total of, since the format changed to the best of, since 1987, there have been 129. Yeah.
Wow.
And this is just going through last year's playoffs. This doesn't include this year's playoffs in hockey.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Brad Marchand of the Florida Panthers. In Game 2 for the Panthers, he had multiple go-ahead goals, shorthanded goal, OT goal, 7 shots on goal. The only other NHL player that has done all of that in any single game, regular or postseason, was Mario Lemieux, who did it twice. And he did it once in 1988 and once in 1996.
He's impressive.
All right, basketball nuggets. SGA dropped 38 points in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That was just the 12th time a player has scored 38 or more in the opener of the NBA Finals, but only the 4th time that player has lost the game. Now, SGA's 38 points in Game 1 was the 3rd most in a Finals debut. His 72 points after 2 games are the most points ever by a player in the first 2 career Finals games. That's unbelievable.
It is.
For this year's MVP.
186.
186 what?
Series sweeps.
Series sweeps?
In the NBA. That doesn't include this year.
So there have been more.
Yeah, there have been more in the NBA than there have been
But do more teams make the
in
playoffs
hockey.
in the NBA?
It's the
than
exact
NHL?
same.
No.
It's 8. Yeah, and they both play 82-game regular seasons.
But when expansion matters then, too. When did more teams, join the NHL or join the NBA?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and the NHL's made it where expansion teams are good.
Yeah.
Which has been
Right,
crazy.
the Golden Knights freaking almost won the Stanley Cup title their first year,
In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Tyrese Halliburton had his 5th go-ahead game-winning or game-tying field goal in the last 30 seconds of the 4th quarter or overtime. That passes Ray Allen for the most in a single playoff run in the play-by-play era. All right?
All right.
There have been 3 fourth-quarter comebacks of 15-plus points in the NBA Finals since 1971. Only 3 of them. The last 2 were coached by Rick Carlisle. Mavs over the Heat in 2011 and the Pacers over the Thunder.
So that Mavs Heat win
2025.
totally flipped that series because the Heat had won Game 1 already, and the Heat were, like I said, they were up big in Game 2. And then that 4th quarter comeback that Dallas made, and it totally flipped the series for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Didn't want to leave Miami.
No. Understand.
The Indiana Pacers have 6 road wins in the 2025 playoffs where the leading scorer in the game was on the opposing team. It's the most by any NBA team in a single postseason all time. How about that? All right, baseball nuggets. Cal Raleigh, one of my favorite players.
Ask Roser, do you know Cal Raleigh's nickname on the Seattle Mariners?
Crazy Cal.
Oh, no, that's not it. One of my favorite nicknames in sports, Cal Raleigh, the Big Dumper is his nickname. And why is he called the Big Dumper? As his teammate once pointed out, look at his ass.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh leads the baseball in home runs. He's the 3rd primary catcher to have a share of the MLB lead in homers through games on June 1 or later in the wild card era, excluding 2020. He joins 2021 Salvador Perez, who co-led for the season, and 2003 Javi Lopez.
Let's go.
Who,
shout out Javi.
He led until June 24th.
That was the season Javi Lopez had a mysterious leap in his power.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how that happened. Over the last 10 seasons, there have been 12,282 instances of a baseball team having at least 10 hits and 3 extra base hits in a game, regular season or playoffs. The Dodgers Friday became the only one of those 2,082 to get shut out. They were shut out by the St. Louis Cardinals. Attaboy. Go
Cardinals are good. I mean, you're playing solid ball. You could get a wild card spot. Well. Yeah. I mean, you got the Mets, the Cubs, and I mean, the West is pretty stacked up right now.
Cardinals did just beat the Dodgers 2 of 3 games, so that was pretty exciting.
Get the wild card.
Yeah. And one more. The Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, or just the Athletics, beat the Dodgers by 10 runs on May 14th to take their record to 22-20. They've lost 21 of their last 25 games.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's too bad.
What happened?
The Athletics happened. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, NBA Finals take the night off, take a couple of nights off, as they will be back on a Wednesday. Wednesday night for Game 3, Oklahoma City at Indiana. Indiana has lost every Game 3 that they've played thus far in the postseason.
Yeah, they have. But were they up 2-0 in all the other ones? They were up 2. They were up 2-0 against the Cavs, and they were up 2-0 against the Knicks. Were they up 2-0 against the Bucks?
I don't. Maybe they were.
Yeah, they won both games in Cleveland, and they won both games in New York. And I don't remember about the Bucks series. I can't remember. That feels like forever ago.
Yeah. But Game 3 not good for the Pacers so far this postseason.
Well, let's find here. Look, we have the Google machine.
But I don't think Oklahoma City's been good in Game 3 either.
They lost Game 3 to Denver. They lost Game 3 to Minnesota.
They almost lost Game 3 to the Grizzlies.
Almost lost Game 3 to the Grizzlies.
They were up 2-0 against Milwaukee. They were. Wow. They lost Game 3 to Milwaukee. They were after, Okay.
All right, Game 3. Wednesday. NHL Stanley Cup.
Both of these teams hate Game 3.
Yeah, they do. NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 3 is tonight. Edmonton in Sunrise, Florida, to take on the Panthers. The Oilers, underdog in this one, a plus 115 underdog. Florida, a minus 135 a favorite. The total at 6.5 for tonight's game as well, with that series tied at 1 game apiece. And then there's a College World Series game. There are 7 teams in: Arkansas, LSU, Coastal Carolina, Louisville, Arizona, UCLA, and Oregon State. They're all going to Omaha. Tonight we decide who the 8th team is going to Omaha. It's Murray State or
That's
Duke.
right.
Murray State or Duke. They will do battle tonight in their best of 3 super regional. And who do you like, Lang?
I like Murray State. I told you guys
like
last
Murray
week.
State? Murray State on the money line plus 210?
I was rolling with Murray State. Like I told you guys heading into this, they've been playing well. They're hot. The coach wears the Ja-2s.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm going with Murray State.
Yeah.
Murray State, you can get a plus 1.5 and still get positive money. But yeah, let's go. I've been debating who I'm going to bet in that game. But okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going Murray State. I'm going to go money line.
You don't want to bet on
State.
Duke.
No, you don't want to bet on Duke. You're right. Yeah. And it's a better story. So let's go with Murray State. All right, cool. And then we got the U.S. Open coming up this week as well. Scotty Scheffler, your favorite, plus 280. Bryson DeChambeau at plus 700. Then Rory, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Ludwig Oberg at plus 2,500. Those are your favorites for the U.S. Open.
I would I'd look at some Scheffler, obviously. I'd look at John Rahm, and I'd look at Xander Schauffele. Xander Schauffele has finished top 15 in 8 straight U.S. Opens.
Wow.
Yeah.
The rough's a disaster at this tournament. Though.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? It's like 8 inches. So if you can't keep it in the fairway, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. You got to keep it in the fairway off the tee at Oakmont. Luscious golf to be played.
Free picks.
Love free picks. All right, let's do it.
What you got, Roser?
We're going to go with the Oilers W tonight and parlay that. He's due Connor McDavid goal. He's got nothing but assists this series. And then I don't think he scored in the final game of their last series, had assists in that one. So due for it. You get Oilers W plus a McDavid goal. You get plus 310.
Ooh, that's a fun parlay.
Yeah.
All right. Lang?
I'm sticking with Murray State. I got the money line Murray State tonight. And I'd also bet against the Braves.
The free picks have been on a kind of a roll here lately. We've been stringing them together.
Yeah,
definitely.
We're giving out winners. I'm taking the Padres tonight. I'm taking the Padres over the Dodgers.
The Fathers.
Tonight, yeah. And you're going to get positive money there on the Padres as well. They're at home tonight against the Dodgers. Boy, and I forget who's pitching. Let me get that for you. Nick Pavetta's on the hill. 6-2, 3.16 ERA going against Dusty May. For the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I'm going with the Padres tonight. I'm going with the Oilers as well tonight. And I'm going with Murray tonight.
I like it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have a big night winning. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of The Odds Couple. Thanks for joining us here today. And best of luck to all your bets. And don't forget, we'll be back with you on Thursday.
I can't wait for Thursday's show. Big show.
Thursday's going to be just as large.
Bigly.
Big show.
Bigly.
Yeah. It's
gonna be a good one.
It's good. 6, 7.
6, 7.
6, 7.
6, 7.
That's how you say it.
All right, that's going to do it for us. For Lang, for Roser, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us here on The Odds Couple. We'll talk to you again on Thursday at 2 o'clock right here on Grind City Media.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.